This is the part of the video where I'm supposed to apparently tell you to like, comment, and subscribe. Hello everybody, this is Jim to the Slim, and today we will be reviewing LEGO Star Wars set number 75318, The Child, aka Grogu, featuring 1,073 pieces. This set originally retailed for, I believe, $80, which price per piece wise, that's one of the best price per piece counts we've had on a Lego Star Wars set. Costco actually had this for about 60 something dollars for a long time, pretty much all year. But first of all, we'll take a look at the box. You'll notice my box actually has a bit of damage on it. Might be because I bought groceries at the same time. I got this from Costco. Not sure if something cold was in contact with the box. But it is what it is. I'm not trying to keep the box. I don't have space to be keeping boxes. Looking at the front of the box, we have the child, as you can see. We have also the little minifigure that comes with the set of the child. Pretty good, pretty nice. On the top, we have that actual size version of the child, so you can get a good idea of how big he's actually going to be. Side box art on point, and you can see more of the damage over here. It might be from the shopping cart itself as well. On the back, we have some of the features of the set, and it's really nice that a display set like this actually has features. And take a look at that. Before getting into the build, we're actually going to unbox the set. So this set, surprisingly enough, for such a big set, has thumb tabs, which you can rip open. Quick cut because it's hard to open these boxes with one hand. Getting inside, we have a fair number of bags. I'm seeing at least 8 bags here, as well as your instruction manual. And with that, I'll be back after the build. Alrighty, and there we have him, Grogu, aka the Child, in his final completed form. And first, let's take a look at the Grogu baby minifigure, which we've gotten in a few sets so far. Nothing different this time around, same thing. But on the display plaque, as with most display plaques, we have a stickered piece with the blue outline of the set and the, well, not really outline, but not really sure how to describe what that is, but also some information on the child. Homeworld unknown, species unknown, age 50, height 0.337 meters, primary associate, the Mandalorian, and his favorite toy is a Razor Crest shifter knob. Now, I can confirm that this is not a one-to-one replica. This replica is in fact only 19 centimeters, which would be 0.19 meters tall, which is actually a good thing considering I thought it would actually be a lot bigger and therefore take up more space, but I think they got the perfect size for this model, and I do really like how it turned out. Now, this is a particularly exciting set for me because not only is it my first display set, not 18 and up, but 10 and up, but it is mainly a display set, but also my 3-year-old really loves Grogu, so I knew I had to pick up this set, otherwise he would probably be pretty upset when he got old enough to figure out what had happened. But taking a closer look at the set itself, he does have a lot of posability. So both of his ears move up and down. The eyes are not posable, but the head is posable, somewhat posable. It's on a ball joint. The mouth opens and closes. One of the few flaws of this set is inside the mouth they used a gray hinge piece when I'm pretty sure they could have used a black one and would have been just as good and would have looked more like the inside of a mouth instead of, here we have light gray. Also, the head moves slightly backwards, slightly forwards, so you can have him just kind of vibing to the music or whatever. Now, a couple of other flaws in this set are, if you look at him from the back, obviously you can see what should be the inside of his ear showing through on both ears. And if you look at the side under the ear, you can see some of the inner workings that do stand out. Obviously, it's not very visible in low light, which is a good thing. But if you do look at the back and side of his head, it doesn't look, it kind of breaks the immersion of the set. Now, the arms are not posable, but the hands and fingers are somewhat posable. You can, when you build them, you just kind of have them together. You can actually splay them out and make them look like a more realistic gesture that he would be making. This one's also poses pretty much the same as that one. And in this hand, held by a single stud, we have the Razor Crest shifter knob. Now, when I first saw the set, I was kind of hoping I could put his little minifigure in his hand, but the way that this works, I would need some sort of dual-sided stud in order to be able to do that. But they did simply use this globe piece and a red piece inside. A rather simple but effective build for a shifter knob that won't fall out of his hand. Having removed the shifter knob, though, you can see that they do try to keep a bit of immersion, not show the inner workings, by just having the brown of his sleeves. No arms up in there, but if you don't drop the shifter knob like I did, if you put the shifter knob in his hand, you will not really be seeing that as much, especially if you have him in a display case like I do. Now, I do very much like what they did in terms of his robe. They have the tiled off pieces to represent the more furry bits, which I can compare to on the plush I got my 3-year-old, as well as on the back. Continues around the back. They have the studs. Not sure why they have a bit of tiling here, because that would just be the back of his robe, probably just for the detail. But it honestly blows my mind how they design this. Like, this is actually that you build this frame and then you have these 4 plates that you put onto it. These 4 plates that you build and basically put onto it. And then on the bottom, it is actually closed off, so you won't be getting any dust or anything inside. It's easy to slide across your average desk surface without leaving any scratches. His eyes are actually interesting. They are actually printed on 2x2 inverted dome pieces. I'm not really sure if that's the name or what it would be. The nice thing about how posable the ears are is you can have him looking sad, or you can have him looking a bit more cheerful. I wouldn't open his mouth too much, because then you get the view of that gray piece in there that just totally ruins the image. But that's why I have his mouth like slightly open, which is a usual expression for a baby anyway. The plaque is a simple but effective build, using not too many pieces, just the right amount. You can actually adjust the angle of it a little bit, although it's probably just meant to stay at that angle. And then when you go to display, you can have it just right there in front of him. Have a nice little display piece. Now, for actually rating this set, I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10 on displayability, because that's what it's made for. And as long as you don't look at the back of his head, which, why would you have the back of his head showing if you're displaying him, really? You'll be fine. And as long as you don't open his mouth too much, as I said. But as far as playability goes, it actually, I'd give it maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's definitely not going to compare to like an actual playset. It's a display set. But the fact that it is posable to the degree that it is posable just adds a bit of playability. You can have him making those different expressions, having maybe clenching his fingers together. You don't have to have him doing the same thing. You can always just have him make a slightly different pose whenever you feel like it, which does add to the playability. It's not just a stationary model. Ultimately, if you are a fan of The Mandalorian, if you're a fan of Grogu especially, and if you're a fan of Lego, you're probably going to want to pick this set up. Like I said, it originally retailed for $80, which given the price per piece seems like a very good deal. Then you realize a lot of the pieces are actually very small to add the different layered details, which I'm not going to complain about. I feel like this set is a very good deal, especially if you do get it on a sale price. Like I said, Costco had it for about $60, which is an absolute steal for a set of this size. So yes, ultimately, I would recommend this set for the reasons that I have stated. Now, if you're wondering how the set looks compared to some other sets, this is how I have mine set up. So obviously he's shorter than that playset AT-AT, but he just fits perfectly right into a spot, which is great. You can put another set in front of him if you have a display case like mine. Another great thing about this set is that given the fact that the Mandalorian helmet set is coming out this year, as well as the Dark Trooper helmet, this will make a nice display with those two sets. But with that will conclude this review. So as usual, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. Let me know if there are any other sets that you'd like to see me review. And with all that being said, this is Jim to the Slim, signing out.
This is the way.